So this whole thing with Russia and Ukraine, China, United States, is about lithium and cobalt, which equals the future that they are predicting for us to have. Let me explain. Chinese have already been kicked out of Africa, out of their cobalt mines, right? Afghanistan forced the United States out of Afghanistan, but they won't tell you that, but I'm going to tell you why they forced them. Afghanistan found out that they got trillions and trillions of dollars worth of lithium under their grounds. Here's what Joe Biden did that I believe. He left them those $80 billion of high-tech military equipment because he asked them with the promise of, I want some of that lithium. They want a profit, right? Okay, pay attention. Russia then invades Ukraine. What does Ukraine have? Ukraine got couple of the biggest mines of lithium in the world. Russia, Putin's used the neo-Nazis because they're there as a way to gain access to the country to get the lithium, because the lithium is going to control the world, and the cobalt. The people in Africa recognized that the cobalt and lithium need to be combined to make the ionic batteries for the electric cars, along with some other ingredients, but you get the idea. So now, Putin knew that the United States wasn't going to like what he did for what he did, because the United States had their eye on it. The United States had already just got beat out by China in Iraq for the oil. China just did the same thing to them in Afghanistan when China learned that Afghanistan had the lithium. They kicked that little knowledge along to Putin in Ukraine. So now Putin already don't like half of them people. So now Putin say, I'm going to strengthen my ruble because I'm taking control of one of the biggest lithium mines in the world. And I'm accessing all of Europe with gas. We already hate the West. So they have devised, and I like it, it's ingenious. It's getting deeper and deeper, y'all. This rabbit hole getting deeper. He's finna bring the ruble back, break the dollar, and control the market on. So this whole thing with Russia and Ukraine, China, United States, is about lithium and cobalt, which equals the future that they are predicting for us to have.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked.
Tonight's Oscars, unfortunately, isn't the groundbreaking Best Picture winner Coda. More on that in a minute. But it's what happens now after Will Smith slapped
the biggest night in Hollywood.
Now to the Oscars here at home, and the slap that is still reverberating through the Academy and beyond. The Academy moving ahead with disciplinary proceedings against Will today. For now, Chris Rock and Sunday's ceremony.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great honor to participate for the 8th time at this important meeting. History is truly at a turning point. We do not yet know the full extent and the systemic and structural changes which will happen. However, we do know that global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. In times of crisis, the role of governments is more important and more relevant than ever. In conclusion, and despite despite all the challenges, we have to uphold our responsibility, which we have towards the next generation, and which we can only fulfill through collaboration on a national and on a global level. I wish you an impactful and successful meeting.
And the title of this session, are we ready for a new world order? That is the purpose of this discussion today, so let's get on with it. Your Excellency, are you ready for a new world order?
Beyond the Academy moving ahead with disciplinary academy just today.
I don't know how to communicate it any better that we are all being distracted. We are living in a matrix that controls our thoughts and our conversations. They have us all talking about the same things that don't matter, keeping us oblivious to the things that actually do matter. In regards to world affairs, everyone has these baseless opinions, making points about irrelevance, while the people in the know actually are talking about and discussing things that actually do matter.
Will be of no value very soon. They will start to throw in a stand. The cash money will be of no value very soon for everyone who in a stand. The cash money will be of no value very soon for everyone who in a stand. The cash money will be of no value very soon. They will start to throw money in the streets. It will all be transferred to cards only. And this is where the cryptocurrency will have control over people's finance, but only for a temporary season. Then soon after that they will say the computers are not working. And for a temporary season. Then soon after that they will say the computers are not working. And they will start the mark of the beast. D. This will ultimately control the way they are thinking and acting, making them be a part of the metaverse. This will not be normal and they will get wiped out. If you have a lot of cash, start spending it wisely. Start stacking up. And for some of you this will be an ego check. Money don't mean anything.
Keeping us oblivious to the things that actually do matter. In regards to world affairs, everyone has these baseless opinions, making points about irrelevance, while the people in the know actually are talking about and discussing things that actually do matter, discussing where this world is heading and what their expectations are for it, and how do we get there. They're preparing their own selves and their families and their companies, while the rest of the masses live in ignorance, discussing Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, or who won the NCAA basketball tournament, or who can actually beat Bobby Flay. We are all being distracted, and for the most part, people are not ready for what is coming to this world. The burden of that is sometimes very hard for me to deal with. It's not like this is just some conspiracy theory that I'm making up on my own views and just speculating. I mean, you literally hear these people talking about what's coming to the world and how the world is about to change. And then you share these things with your family and your friends, and you literally get silence from them. No one responds. Or the ones that do respond say, this is not a big deal because it's not happening for 10 to 15 years. Then you have people planning on making these major moves to chase pre-COVID lifestyles, while the world is preparing to be uprooted and shaken to the core. They don't want to plan around that reality. And are we ready for it?
And the title of this session, are we ready for a new world order?
There was a lot of discussion about the future of money and cryptocurrencies.
And I think we're at the cusp of embarking on exploring a new technology that is a new technology for money. The new technology for money will power the new financial sectors, which will be the fundamental pillars for every other sector, be it real estate, e-commerce, everything else.
Stable coins and CBDCs, central bank digital currencies included. A lot of talk about the regulation of crypto, which is so funny Because in my earlier videos about Bitcoin and the mark of the beast, there were so many naysayers about my conclusion of Bitcoin being tied to the mark of the beast. Because people truly believe that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are decentralized, so that the power is really with the people and not the governments. They think that this cryptocurrencies is power to the people. It's crazy. But those naysayers should really listen to what these people were saying. They spoke about the future of aviation. They also spoke about putting the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, in action. They spoke about the changes the war in Ukraine has and will bring to the world. And they spoke an awful lot about the metaverse and Web3. They discussed the future of the world. And while they were discussing our futures, our news media doesn't bring it up at all. That should tell you very clearly that the news is not about informing us, but about distracting us. Opposed to many people that wave me off as a conspiracy theorist. But here, they are having a conversation about it at the World Government Summit.
Your Excellency, are you ready for a new world order?
There were many things said in this conversation, but I think this was the most emphasized point I heard.
And what we're seeing in the world today, I think, is we are on the brink of a dramatic change where we are about to, and I'll say this boldly, we're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one. And the new one, the new accounting, is what we call blockchain. It means digital. It means having a almost perfect record of every single transaction that happens in the economy, which will give us far greater clarity over what's going on. It also raises huge dangers in terms of the balance of power between states and citizens. In my opinion, we're going to need a digital constitution of human rights if we're going to have digital money. But also, this new money will be sovereign in nature. Most people think that digital money is crypto and private, but what I see are superpowers introducing digital currency.
Yeah.
And that led to inflation. People started to expect inflation, and they built this expectation into their economic decisions. That led to even more inflation. High inflation, plus other shocks to the economy, like a quadrupling of oil prices, led to a bad recession with periods of high unemployment.
This may be the worst weekend they've ever faced for finding gasoline to give them the automobile freedom they take as their due. Gasoline shortages are spreading across the country. Odd even service, gasoline lines, and closed gas stations are becoming increasingly common.
Isn't this disgusting? Why doesn't anybody contact the president? Why is he letting this happen to us?
To sum up in the word of one irate motorist, the first day of the odd-even system was a disaster. Gas lines at many stations were a lot longer than normal.
Line today is longer than it's ever been. I have no explanation for it.
This gas line at one station on the Upper West Side ran from 96th Street and West End Avenue all the way up to 102nd Street. As might be expected, the longer the line and waiting time, the angrier some motorists became.
I think it's terrible. I really think it's terrible. I'm in here for an hour already.
There's no shortage. I don't believe there's a shortage.
Change is on the horizon, and people should be prepared for it. There's a great deal of people that are just not ready for what is coming, but you cannot be one of them that's on that list. We are headed to the Great Tribulation, and Father requires us to be awake and walking aligned with Him. Trust me that I should write to you, for you yourselves know perfectly that the day of Yahuwah so comes as a thief in the night. For when they say peace and safety,
don't say what the names are pagan, but just listen to the message.
and sudden destruction comes upon them, as labor pains upon a pregnant woman, and they shall not escape. But you, brethren, are not in darkness, so that this day should overtake you as a thief. You are all sons of light and sons of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as others do, but let us watch and be sober. For those who sleep, sleep at night, and those who get drunk are drunk at night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and as a helmet, the hope of salvation. For Elohim did not appoint us to wrath, but to obtain salvation.
That's also pagan, the name he said, so don't say the names again, like I said, the creator.
Through our master, Yahusha the Messiah, who died for
And there's no such thing as one person coming to save you. We are all saviors. We got to work together. That so-called Messiah that people are looking for is that devil, Mr. J, coming back to cause more problems.
Us that whether we wake or sleep, we should live together with him. Therefore, comfort each other and edify one another, just as you also are doing. That's 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 1 through 11.
So in other words, you need to stick together, work together, and trust each other and trust in the Creator, who is a spirit, who is energy, who is not man or woman, not a physical thing, not an alien, not a fallen one, none of that stuff. And does not have a name, does not go by titles. That's our ancestors called on the Great Spirit. It's referring to the Creator. But for now, take that message in. Don't take it as a joke. Get to safety. Prepare. It's time. Peace and love.